Hey, my name is Betty. I'm a grateful person in recovery. I'm a divine spiritual being living a temporary human experience. And guess what? So are you. I won't claim that truth for you, but you are. So I wanted to make a video about dialing into your future healed self. So I'm a person in recovery. I've been in recovery without drugs and alcohol for the last 4 years, 3 months, and 15 days today. My clean date is June 1st, 2019. And there's a version of me who used to look one way. And when I came into my spiritual process and the undoing of my addictions, I started dialing into my future self, and my future self looked a lot like the way that I look now. So I started exercising this practice where I would tap into the future version of myself. I would ask her questions like, what do you do for a living? What do you do for hobbies? What are your relationships like? Do you have friends? Where do you go on a daily basis? Where do you live? What kind of soap do you use? Stuff like that. So I still use this process in my life today. And I was just working with somebody and we started to conceptualize their future self. And so I thought I would tell you guys some of the tools. So it's very simple. You just kind of clear your mind, go into an empty space inside your mind, and you can begin to envision your future self there. See what they're wearing. What does their hair look like? What do they smell like? You can ask them questions. What do you do for a living? How did you begin to do that? And so for me, my future self, she gives me all the steps that I need to become her. So when I envision my future self, she looks a certain way, she acts a certain way, and she's an author and she's a keynote speaker, and she's really living her best life. She looks a little bit more physically fit than me. Her hair is a little bit longer than mine. And I ask her questions about how she became an author. And she tells me that all that this version of myself, had to do was sit down every day for 15 minutes and write. And she tells me that she has a fitness routine, that she let go of sugar, that she let go of certain foods. And that's how she became the version of herself that she is today. She lives in Midtown Manhattan in a penthouse apartment. She loves her life. She's financially abundant. And she did a couple of things to get there. So all I have to do is just follow her directions and I can become her. But there's all these different versions of myself that are so centered in fear that I can't let go. Like my future version of myself tells me that she does not have a day job, that she relies solely on her private practice. And that as she started, like to write the book, she got a book deal and that's how she makes money. Like there's a version of me now that is so fearful of letting go of my day job that, I'm like, no, I'll figure out how to do everything else plus have the day job. So, like I deal with those versions of myself and I can tap into those versions of myself too. And I can ask them, what do you need? Why are you scared? How can we find some faith together? So I have an inner saboteur and an inner critic. And those are the versions of myself that really pop up when I'm trying to get into my optimal timeline. So my inner saboteur, she looks like the chick from The Ring. She's gray and sunken in, and she's got hair over her face. And she used to be really scary looking to me. Her name's Marcy. It used to just be a sound. Her name was just meh. And she was really getting involved in my life. And I asked her what she needed to stop, like being so involved in my life, sabotaging all of my beauty in my life. And she said, number one, I want a name. And so I gave her the name Marcy instead of meh. And then I started to cover her in pink light. So it was easier for me to have conversations with her. And basically her fear is just that I won't take her on the journey with me. So she comes with me every day. I wake up, I cover her in pink light, and she comes on the journey with me. Also, my inner critic is very loud. And she looks a certain way. She's wearing like a really ugly, like boxy sort of gray skirt suit. And she's got a clipboard and, she's kind of masculine. And she does not believe that I can accomplish anything. And so she tears everything that I do apart. So, why am I sharing about this? Because I think that compartmentalizing the parts of ourselves is a really useful tool on the spiritual journey. Not only can I compartmentalize the shadow aspects of myself, I can also compartmentalize the higher aspects of myself, my light self. So I can tap into my patient version of myself, my tolerant version of myself, and my future version of myself. And I can ask them all, what do I need to do in order to really embody you as my highest good? And they can tell me all of the things that I need to do. And it's really about trusting your imagination, trust your intuition, recognize that there's no bad parts of yourself. Even my inner saboteur and my inner critic are trying to protect me from something. They think that they're protecting me from something. And I just have to remind them that we have all of these light attributes of ourselves to guide us, and we have to have faith in them. And so that's what I do on a daily basis. And I thought that it was a fun exercise to envision the future version of yourself, ask them how they became them, and start to utilize the tools that they tell you. And I would really love to hear in the comments if anybody utilized this and what they think of the exercise. And I'll leave it there. All right, be wavy.